Welcome to the Masterclass from Breakup to Badass, where you are going to learn how to heal your heart, reclaim your power, and become the woman that you were meant to be. Welcome, my name is Janita Puy, and I'm thrilled to have you here today. So, before we start, I want to make sure that you are seeing my slides. Let me check that everything is in order. Okay, cool, perfect. And you know why I do that? Because like 2 weeks ago, I was in a meeting and I was in a class, I was teaching a class, and I realized after 2 minutes that I was not sharing my slides. Like nobody was able to see what I had prepared for them. So it's perfect because I can see that you all can see my slides right now. So welcome everybody and everyone. Before I get started, I want to make sure that I give you my full attention because this is going to be a great masterclass where you're going to learn how to heal your heart, reclaim your power, and become the badass that you know that you have inside. So put your phone down. I know there are amazing videos. I keep seeing dogs in my videos. They're so funny and they're so cute. But I'm gonna put my phone down. I texted my mom. Mom, do not call me because she calls me one time and then she keeps calling me 3 or 4 times. And I want to give you my full attention so you can learn what I have prepared for you. And grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and get ready to take good notes for today. So, if you're in the comfort of your home, what are you drinking? I'm drinking water. Usually, I drink water with lemon. I was kind of lazy today to put some lemon in my water, but definitely, I always carry water with me. So, I'm gonna start. Let's take a deep breath, inhale and exhale. And I want I want you to think, and I invite you to think, why is it important for you to finally feel like yourself again after the breakup? You just think about it. Maybe it's because you want your peace back, right? And maybe it's because you're tired of pretending, or maybe it's because you miss the version of yourself that used to laugh, used to light up, and feel alive. So, whatever it is, maybe think about it, write it in a piece of paper. This is a safe space. We're not here to judge, we are here to heal. So, go ahead and write it down. Why is it important for me to finally feel like myself again? Perfect. And I'm going to ask you, do you want to feel whole again? Do you want to reconnect with your power and glow into the life that you truly deserve? If your answer is yes, you are in the right place. And this is for you if A, you feel completely stuck, heartbroken, or lost. Maybe you're still in the early stages of the breakup or your divorce, and you're not sure who you are anymore without that relationship, right? You're exhausted and don't even know where to start. Or B, this is for you if you are divorced or broken up, but you haven't truly healed. You have done some work, but you're still carrying some of the guilt, the anger, the sadness, whatever it is. You are functional, but not fully free. And you want to move forward, but something keeps pulling you back. Or C, you have moved on, but maybe you're ready for something more. You're not longer in crisis, but you want to deepen your confidence, upgrade your habits, and create your next chapter with boldness and joy. And you want to glow up all the way up, right? So, write in a piece of paper, which are you? A, you feel completely heartbroken or lost. B, you are divorced but you haven't truly healed. Or C, you have moved on but you're ready for something more. You're ready for a badass. that the badass that is inside of you. So it does not matter if you are A, B, or C, because today you will discover how to grieve with intention. You know, instead of rushing on or rushing to move on, you'll create a space to fully honor what was lost, the relationship, the dreams, even the version of yourself that loved with your whole heart. Because real healing begins when you stop pretending that you're okay and allow yourself to feel. And you will also discover how to let go and reclaim. You'll learn how to release the old stories, the guilt, the attachment that are keeping you stuck. And at the same time, you'll reclaim your voice, your energy, your time, everything that is rightfully yours. And you will also discover how to own your power. You'll rebuild your confidence, strengthen your boundaries, and stop letting the past define you or control your future. And this is the beautiful part, because this is where you go from victim to creator, choosing who you become, not who you have been, right? So the last thing that you're going to discover today is how to walk into the new you. Finally, you'll step into the identity of the woman that you're becoming, the woman that leads with clarity, with love, with unstoppable trust. And you'll stop surviving. And this is very important, and start glowing up, into the life that feels like it's truly yours. So, if you haven't, and this is important, if you haven't found a way to truly heal and move forward after your breakup, I have news for you, girl. It's not your fault. And it's not your fault because this isn't something that you're taught in school. It isn't, because no one ever taught you how to truly heal after a breakup. You were taught to survive, not to process, not to release, and to rebuild from the inside out. And it is not your fault, because most of us, and this I see this over and over with my clients, we are doing it backwards. We try to fix from the outside. We change the jobs, we change the hair, we change the partner, but we don't heal our emotions. And it's not your fault, because there has been a piece missing. Because this is what happens. You didn't just lose a relationship, you lost part of yourself. And no one gave you a path to get them back until now. So everything ends today. And I gotta tell you, that ends today because I am going to show you today how to heal your heart, reclaim your power, and become the woman that you were meant to be. So bear with me and let's play it for a second. And imagine, okay, I don't have a magic wand here, but imagine, close your eyes, imagine you have a magic wand, right? And make this situation happen. Imagine this. You wake up feeling light, peaceful, and whole. No more tightness in your chest, no more waking up in the middle of the night, with a pain in your stomach. You wake up feeling calm, clear, and excited about your life. And imagine this, you know exactly who you are. And you love her, you love this person. You're not longer defined by what happened to you. You trust yourself. You set the boundaries without guilt. You walk into every room with confidence. And imagine this, you create a life that feels like freedom, like joy, power. Because your days are full of things that light you up. You laugh, you love, and you lead yourself without waiting for permission or validation from anyone. And you know what? I see it and I get it. Because I know what it feels like to wake up and don't even recognize yourself anymore. Like either staring at the walls and wondering, how did I get here? And I get it because a few years ago, I was right there where you are. One minute, I thought I was building a life, love, married, and the next one, everything collapsed. Let me take you back to that day. And you know what? I think I'm gonna stop sharing the screen so you can see me better. It's kind of like an iconic moment from Sex in the City. I guess maybe some of you know the show Sex in the City, right? And one day, my husband asked me to get on a Zoom call with me. I mean, Zoom. This is weird, but we had a fight, like a couple of days before, and I was in a different city, so Zoom. We get on this call, and he said three things that changed my life forever. Those three things, he said, something like this. Um, there are three things that keep a marriage together: kids, history, and love. We don't have kids, our history isn't that deep, and I'm not in love with you anymore. So Carrie from Sex and the City got broken up by her boyfriend by a post-it note, and I got a Zoom call. Yeah, like that's the irony. But right after this happened, I felt like I had fallen apart. I wasn't just, I mean, it wasn't just the end of my marriage, it was the death of my future that I had planned for so long, the dreams, the family, the grandkids, the shared vacations, and just the little things like having someone to hold hands with during a walk or, while watching a movie as we grew old together. And those days felt dark, I have to tell you. And I didn't want to exercise most days, and but I didn't feel like it. I did it anyway, and I wasn't meditating like I did before. And I started numbing myself with alcohol, and I was not taking care of myself as I used to do before. I mean, I'm a badass. And I was also playing the victim for some time, like asking why. Why did this happen to me? Until one day I realized, Janita, this isn't you anymore. You're a badass. I mean, think about what you have done in the past, what you have accomplished. You overcame an eating disorder when you were 18. You lost your job twice. When you battled your eating disorder, you overcame that situation and learned how to eat better and now teach that to people. And when I lost a job, I reinvented myself, and now I'm living the dream because I'm guiding people to transform their lives. And when I moved from Venezuela to the United States, and then United States to Colombia, and then back, I always got stronger, made new friends, and adapted to a new city. And what I realized that I had been in different situations that challenged my existence over and over. And I'm sure you know what I'm saying, because I'm sure you have been in a similar situation. And maybe it's not only the breakup, maybe it's something that happened when you were younger, maybe your parents died, whatever it is. And for me, what I realized is that each time adversity knocked at my door, I overcame every time that situation. And I asked myself, how did I do that? And it was by unlocking that core of who I am, the badass I knew it was in me. And I did everything that was in my power, like taking care of myself, feeling my emotions, grieving. You have to grieve to move, to be able to move forward, like letting go of my beliefs. I used to think like I was not lovable. And through each of those moments, there was a path, there was a system that I had followed. And not because somebody taught me, or gave it to me, but because I built it brick to brick, brick by brick, right? With every adversity. It's like I became better at it. And it didn't make the pain go away because it doesn't go away that fast, but it gave me a way through it. I love this phrase that I saw on a show, and she said, the only way to get through it, to go through it, is to go through it. And that's what it is. So even though I was afraid, I knew I needed to trust the process. And I am going to show you what happened next, because I think this is the best part every time that you overcome adversity, right? And that's technology, but this is me now, okay? Radiant, well, kind of hot because I'm going through menopause, so bear with me on that. So this is me now, radiant, peaceful, and aligned. And not because, look, my life didn't go as I planned. Actually, it completely fell apart in that moment. And that Zoom call shattered everything that I had built. But that breakdown became the turning point, because from that moment on, I started the real work, not to bounce back, but to rebuild forward. And I allowed myself to grieve with intention and let go of the stories that, kept me stuck. I reclaimed my body, my time, my joy, and I started walking into a new version of me, stronger, softer, more self-assured. And you know what? It didn't just help me heal, it helped me find my purpose. And today I feel better than I have ever felt before. I'm doing work that lights me up. You can see it in my face, right? You can see that, I'm really energetic, and I'm really loving this. And I give keynotes, I run workshops on emotional resilience and reinvention. And I help entrepreneurs, and I love it, Latina entrepreneurs and professionals to build a better business by working on their well-being. And I have coached many women who felt like they were falling apart. And it doesn't have to be a breakup, it could be many things. And now they're starting businesses, they're setting boundaries, they're dating with joy and becoming the version of themselves that they always knew it was there, the badass. Because I know that you're here, Maria, you're here, Karen, because you are a badass. And me, I have to tell you something. I don't feel resentment. I remember, side story, but I remember my friends, after what happened with my ex-husband, they were like, oh, do you want us to do something to him? I'm like, no, I love him. Like, I don't feel resentment because he gave me a life, an amazing life. And because he's not in my life anymore, I get to guide people like you, badass like you. So I feel gratitude, because that heartbreak was the best thing that ever happened to me. I don't know if you guys have, you know that who Tony Robbins is. Yes, and he says, well, many people say this. He says, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. So when you realize, you reframe things. And for me, it was the best thing that happened to me, because it gave me clarity, it gave me strength, and it gave me a blueprint to help others. So I don't only teach, I live it every single day. Because the reality is, right now, there is a badass waiting for you to take the action, to overcome this challenge, whatever it is, overcome the breakup, your stuckness. There is a badass inside of you, because you have value and you deserve to heal your heart and become the badass that you were meant to be, that you know that is inside of you. So put in the chat, are you in? And I want this, right? Like, if you want this, go ahead and say, I am in, into the chat right now. And not for my benefit, but for yours. There was a recent study, it was a 2025 study from the Harvard Business Review, that shows that we are 8 times, listen to this, we're 8 times more likely to have success with our dreams, with our goals and our purpose and our vision when we share them in writing in a group of like-minded individuals. So if you want to be 8 times more likely to heal your heart, reclaim your power, say yes. Say I am in. And before we move on, let's address the elephant in the room, because maybe you're thinking, I feel like at the end she's going to make some kind of an invitation. And yes, I'm going to make a kind of invitation because I want you to heal your heart, reclaim your power, and become the woman that you were meant to be. And I do want you to go from breakup to badass, from broken to badass, because everything is inside of you. So yes, I will, I will give you an invitation. I will have an invitation for you, but you have complete control if you want this invitation or not. And this is how it's going to work. I will offer nothing but value. You're going to be able to play full out, because I have to tell you something. You're not accidentally here buying a timeshare, okay? By engaging in the chat or saying yes, right? You're not buying anything like that. When I'm ready, to give you an invitation, I'm gonna ask you, did I earn the right to make an invitation to you? And you can say yes or no. If you say yes, I will make the invitation. If you say no, no problem. Maybe I'll change the water for a glass of wine, because it's Thursday, maybe later today I will have that. So is that a deal? If it's okay, perfect. Maybe you're asking yourself, okay, Janita, this is beautiful. The pictures, yes, you're a badass, but how do I do that? How do I heal my heart, reclaim my power, and become the woman that I was meant to be? And this is how it works. This is GLOW, the Breakup to Badass Blueprint. Every time I tell people what I do, that, I guide women to go from breakup to badass, they're like, I love that. I love the title, right? And this is a 4-step journey based on what happened to me and based how I overcame my divorce and all the things that happened to me. And I put it in a blueprint called GLOW. So the G is Grieve with intention. Look, you have to honor what you have lost so you can begin to truly heal. This is very important. You have to grieve. Sometimes they don't teach you how to grieve. Ever since we were kids, they're telling us, don't cry, right? When you were a kid, you lost a toy, you fell, don't cry, don't cry. So they're teaching us not to feel, and that's not okay. And the L is for let go and reclaim. Release what's holding you back and reclaim your voice, your energy, and your power. And own your power. I love this part because this is, to rebuild with confidence, set boundaries, and shift from victim to creator. This is really important because I think sometimes it's easier when, if we're a victim, we're giving the responsibility to everybody else. It's his fault, it's the situation, whatever it is. But when you go from victim to creator, it's you who has the power to become the badass that it's inside of you. And the W, I love this one because this is when you finally become the badass. You step into your new chapter with clarity, courage, and unapologetically self-trust. I love this. So let's talk a little bit about each of them. Let's go with grief with intention. Let me tell you the truth about grief. If you don't feel it, you store it. And when you store it, it lives in places that you don't expect. Your health, your decisions, your relationship, your energy. So when my marriage ended, I didn't just grieve the man. I grieved the life that I thought we were building, right? The home, the kids we never had, the future that would never be. And I had no idea how to process all this kind of emotional collapse because no one teaches you. And this is why the first step So powerful. You are not grieving. Listen to this. You're not grieving because you're weak. You're grieving because you love deeply. And that's sacred, right? I mean, it is. So when when I work with women, most people, they don't know how to grieve, especially women like us, that we have been uh, praised for being strong, for keeping it together, for not making a scene, right? So when everything falls apart, we don't know what to do with the heartbreak. We try to move on, but the pain doesn't move with us, right? Grieving with intention means that you don't let the grief control you, but you don't avoid it either. Look, over the years, I've worked with dozens of women through divorces, breakups, and actually midlife pivots, like reinventing careers and everything. And these are the same patterns over and over that I see. Trying to rush the healing. Oh, if I just stay busy, that's gonna get away. It doesn't happen that way. Or skipping the grief and jumping into productivity or the new job, the new body, the new man, right? Without the grieving part. Or believing that something is wrong with them for feeling sad. Look, it happened to me as well. Like, what did I do? I mean, it is that easy that you get replaced in a job, in a marriage, or whatever. But this is what I've learned. You can't rebuild your life if you never take time to honor what you have lost. This is so beautiful. I'm going to say it again. You can't rebuild your life if you never take time to honor what you have lost. So grief with intention doesn't mean, not crying. It means that you give your emotions a place, a space, a container, whatever you want to call it, and you let them move, let them breathe. I remember when I mean, recently separated, I cried. I sang songs like, in Spanish, all the ones that, you're going to cut your veins, something like that. I needed to feel that. I mean, my life, it was so over as I knew it. So, and all the dreams, they died with the husband. And I remember one woman in one of the workshops said, I didn't think I had the right to grieve because I was the one who left. But Janita taught me that grief doesn't follow logic, it follows love. So she gave herself permission to cry, in the shower, to light a candle every night for a week, and finally say goodbye to the version of herself that kept trying to hold it all together. There is another saying that, like the person that you were when something happened to you is the person that needed to be there, but it's not the person that needs this life, because that person overcome that problem, but this person is a new person, right? So grieving isn't weakness, it's the strength. It's how you build the emotional foundation for everything that comes next. That's beautiful. So when you let yourself grieve, you stop carrying the emotional weight that was never meant to be permanent. And you begin to hear your own voice again. You create space mentally, emotionally, spiritually for something new. You start feeling like yourself again, not overnight, but piece by piece. You release the fear of falling apart because you realize you can hold yourself through anything. Yes. So when you grieve with intention, you don't stay stuck in the story of what was. You open yourself up to who you are becoming. So that's the first part. That's the G in grief. Let me take some water here. The second part is let go and reclaim. Look, we can't, if you have a piece of paper, like I really put effort in the sayings, the phrases that I'm saying. We can't build a new life if we're dragging the old one behind us. I'm gonna say that again. And this again, this is for everything in your life. It doesn't have to be a breakup. You can't build a new life if you're dragging the old one behind you. That's it. So this step is where we get real about what we're still carrying: the guilt, the shame, the blame, the resentment, the old stories like, for me, I'm not lovable, or I failed. What did I do to deserve this, right? So when I was packing my things to leave the house that I share with my ex, I found myself wanting to, I was living in Colombia, I was coming back to the United States, and I wanted to bring everything with me. The chair, I mean, the setting plates that I got from my mom, like 60-year-old setting plate. My mom, she doesn't forgive me still that I sold that. But anyway, when I was packing the things, I found myself like wanting to keep all the things, right? Not because I needed them, like really, I'm gonna be truthful with you, but because I couldn't let go of who I was when I had them, okay? And I realized that we hold onto objects the same way that we hold onto identities, and they weight us down, you know? Uh, and at some point, I was with some of my friends there, and Sylvia, I was like, no, I'm gonna get everything to United States. And she said something, and she said, why don't you travel light? Wow. And like sometimes you have those aha moments. I'm like, travel light. Wow. And I sold everything, almost, gave away because I put it in marketplace and it was all gone for pennies. But it gave me a sense of freedom when I let go. And so many women think like letting go means to like they're giving up. But here's the truth. Letting go is not the same as losing. Letting go is choosing yourself over, right, a life that doesn't longer serves you. And you're not giving up. You're giving your permission to breathe, and you're not walking away. You're walking towards what's new. And you're not erasing the past. You're writing your next chapter. And when I finally let go, not just of my marriage, but of the expectations, the guilt, the shame, I felt something that I hadn't felt in a long time. And it was that lightness, right? And that was like the first time in months that I laughed without forcing it. And that's when I knew like this wasn't the end. It was the beginning of my comeback. And I remember working with my Marcela some time ago, and she said, with Janita's support, I was able to discover and change the things that stood in the way of my overall well-being and take action to define and achieve my goal. When you're going through something, when you start to let go and you start taking actions, that's when the magic happens. And letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing yourself over pain. And that take us to our third step, and we're almost done with the fourth step. It's owning your power. And this is the moment when we stop playing small. Like we want to go big here because you have spent so long adjusting who you are to keep the peace, to keep the relationship, to keep it all together. But what if owning your power didn't mean that you're selfish? It made you whole. Owning your power is about remembering that you have a voice, a body, a truth, and that it matters. So this is important. I remember when I first gave my first conference talk after divorce, I almost didn't do it. I didn't feel like I had anything left to say. I was feeling a little bit uh, low self-esteem, low self-love because of everything that was in my head. But I showed up anyway, and I stood on the stage and I told my story. And when I saw women crying and being emotional in the audience, something inside of me clicked. And this wasn't just about healing anymore. This was my mission. And here's what I have learned the hard way. You can reclaim your power if you're still avoiding the truth. At some point after the divorce, I realized I was moving through life in autopilot. And I see this over and over with my clients that we're not in the present moment. And I realized I was moving in autopilot, doing the things, showing up for people, trying to stay strong. But inside, I was shrinking. I was afraid to take up some space, afraid that to say what I really wanted, afraid to disappoint more people, like my family, my parents, like second divorce, what, like the black sheep of the family. But what I ask myself, what am I avoiding that's actually costing me my power? And I think it was Tony Robbins as well. He said, the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. This is very important. And wow, when I ask myself that question, is like the answers poured out, because we have everything that we need, we have inside us. I'm telling you, like I've been coaching lots of women, and it's all about them, like what they do to become that badass. And I was avoiding with that question asking for help because I didn't want to seem weak. I was avoiding rest because I thought I needed to hustle to feel worthy again. And I was avoiding dating because I thought no one would ever love me again, with all the baggage. And avoidance is sneaky because it shows up dressed as busyness, overthinking, perfectionism, and even people pleasing, which is my truth. But here's the truth, like, even every time you avoid something, you give it power over you. I'm going to say that again. Every time you avoid something, you give it power over you. And the moment you face it, even a little, you start taking that power back. And that's what Paulette did when I worked with her. I mean, she took her health in her hands. She wanted to change her mindset because it was going to be the first time that she was going to run a marathon. And she got empowerment and fulfillment, and she made her dreams come true. And this is very important. So power isn't dominance, it's self-trust. When you own your power, you stop living in reaction mode and you start leading your life with intention. You set clear boundaries. You no longer seek validation. You break the cycle of self-abandonment and start showing up for yourself fully, unapologetically. And you become magnetic, not because you're trying, but because confidence, rooted in truth, radiates without effort. So you shift from feeling like life is happening to you to life is happening for you. Like knowing that you are the one creating that. And from that place, anything becomes possible. New relationships, aligned career, just like it happens to me, deeper joy, and most importantly, a life that actually feels like yours. And finally, we get to walk into our new us, or the new you. And this is where it all comes together. You have felt, you have released, you have reclaimed, and now you get to walk into that version, that badass that is waiting underneath you, that is there. And this isn't about going back to who you were. This is about becoming the woman that you will always meant to be. Because I do think, like, I mean, I've coached so many women, and I collaborate with so many entrepreneurs, and they're all badasses. They sometimes we don't know it. We don't know it. I mean, we know it's there, but the self doubt, it's always telling us, no, you're not good enough. And she's not some version of you. She's already here. You just need to say yes to her. Look, this is beautiful. You need to say yes to her, and this is where everything changes. And not because the pain never happened, because it's good. The pain is good. And there's another quote that I love. When you focus on the pain, you're gonna keep suffering. But when you focus on the lesson, you're gonna keep growing. And this is true. You just need to say yes to that person, because the pain made you who you are today. And that pain, it not longer controls you. And I remember one of my clients said that she used to shrink when she came into a room, but now she walks with confidence that, like she can do whatever she wants. And at this stage, you're not asking for permission to feel happy. You're not waiting to be validated or rescued. You're living from a place of alignment where your choices match your values, where your dreams are no longer on the back, burner. You are dressing differently, you're speaking differently, you're showing up differently for you. And not because someone told you to do that, but because this is who you are now. And I love working with Nora. We have been working together for 3 years. She was part of my group coaching program. And she said, all the tools that she got from there changed her in her personal and professional life, because she started taking actions. This is your life and you need to start taking action. Remember that, the way that you think determines the way that you feel. The way that you feel determines the actions that you take. And the actions that you take, they're your future, they're your dreams, they're your goals, they're your life. So it's really important. So your glow up isn't just a look, it's a lifestyle. And it starts when you stop waiting to feel ready and start moving like it's already yours. So let's recap. We're almost there. So we have the Breakup to Badass Blueprint, which is a 4-step journey to heal your heart, reclaim your power, and become the woman that you were meant to be. We talk about grieve with intention. We also talk about let go and reclaim. Then owning your power, rebuilding this confidence, set bold boundaries, and shift from victim to creator. And finally, walk into the new badass, the badass that is inside of you. So I'm telling you, yes, you can heal your heart, you can reclaim your power, and you can become the woman that you were meant to be. I've seen it over and over. And you might be thinking, okay, how do I do it? How can I heal my heart, reclaim your power, and become the woman that I was meant to be? And this is the time that I'm going to ask, did I earn the right to give you an invitation? Yes? Perfect. Okay. So you have 2 choices in front of you, okay? There's the slow way or the fast way. The slow way, that's trial and error. It's waking up every single day feeling, why this happened to me, feeling stuck, second guessing yourself, overthinking every text, scrolling through social media, wondering if you ever feel like yourself again. And it's trying to put things together, watching YouTube videos, podcasts, maybe a journal prompt here and there, or this is what I have seen a lot of time, but using ChatGPT as your therapist, right? I'm not saying no, but sometimes it still ended up crying in your car because none of it's actually helping you move forward. It's spending months or even years. I've seen it over and over. People stuck in the same patterns for years, 10 years. That's a lot of years to be stuck in something that is not good for you, And listen, I have done the slow way. I don't do it anymore. I hire people to help me go through everything that I don't know how to, okay? And I did that back in the days, and it was lonely. It was exhausting, and worst of all, I can't get the time back, But there is the fast way, and that's what we're here for. The fast way is having a guide, a proven system, a system that works, a community of women who get it, a shortcut through the chaos, so you can start feeling like you again sooner than someday. And this is the official invitation to join me to a brand new From Breakup to Badass workshop, how to heal your heart, reclaim your power, and become the woman that you were meant to be. And this is going to be on August, so you are ready. But before I get all excited and tell you, how you can heal your heart, reclaim your power, and become the woman that you were meant to be, I've got to tell you who this isn't for. If you rather make excuses than make things happen, this workshop is not for you. Because this program, I created this program to get result, to get hope and inspiration. So the From Breakup to Badass workshop, it's a 3-hour transformational experience designed for women over 40 who are ready to stop spinning in the pain of what's happening to you, the breakup, the job loss, whatever it is, to finally start rebuilding your life stronger, bolder, brighter than ever. And this is not a webinar. This is not a lecture. This is a full-on workshop where we're going to roll up the sleeves, go deep, and do the actual work to get your glow back. Because you have already lost enough time to someone, to something that wasn't meant for your future. And it's okay. And this is about claiming what's next for you. And we're going to do several things, because we're going to talk about how to feel lighter, emotionally grounded, and no longer afraid of your own feelings, and able to move forward with clarity instead of carrying the silent pain. And then we're going to let go and reclaim. You'll finally stop obsessing of the past and start reclaiming your energy, time, and voice, so you can focus on what's next, not what was. And then when you own your power, you'll show up stronger, more confidence. Speak up for yourself unapologetically. I love this word, and I'm sorry, but sometimes I don't know how to say unapologetically, and make decisions from self-worth, not from self-doubt. And then walk into the new you, right? You feel proud of the woman that you see in the mirror, living fully, leading with joy, and creating a life that feels like it's truly yours. So this is how it works. This is not a talk. This is not. It's the work that we are going to do. So the format is a virtual workshop for 3 hours on a Saturday. You can always take time for you, where you're going to have workbooks and exercises to guide you every step up of the way. And of course, you're going to do coaching with me as well. And I worked with Teacher last year, and she said that she delivered, and this is important, she delivered practical, reliable strategies for self-care while making the session interactive and fun. This is the way. We need to have fun on the way. Life is fun. Sometimes it's painful, yes, but if you focus on the lesson, you're going to see it in a different way, in a positive way, right? And this is good. And because I want this to be a full body yes for you, when you join today, you'll also get these bonuses. The first one, the Breakup to Badass affirmation pack. I love it. I put it together and it's amazing. Daily audio and reading affirmations to renew your mind and recenter your worth. This is so important. And this is what Maria Paulina did in our coaching program. She said, I love spending time with you and the wonderful group of women who were there each week. If we want changes, there is another phrase that says, if you want to go faster, go by yourself, but if you want to go further, go with somebody else. And this is what happened when you put together a group of women. I've seen it over and over, and I just absolutely love the work that we can do together. And then the bonus too, Glow Up Guided Meditation, 10-minute visualization designed to reinvent yourself, to put yourself into your power and ignite emotional calmness. And I love working with Paola at the Latin American Association. She said her impact is undeniable, and she connects with women in a way that is both empowering and personal. Look, I've seen it over and over, the power that I can bring to a session. And the idea is I'm teaching what I did. This is not something random. This is what I created because I lived it every step of the way. And the bonus three, because wellness, well-being, going forward, moving forward, it comes from the inside out. But when you move your body, right, when you energize yourself, that has an effect. I was actually watching a video today, and the woman said they were talking about Alzheimer, and I know this is random, but this is the power of moving. Okay, when you move, she was talking about Alzheimer and about this study that says that the number one, like what you can do to prevent Alzheimer's, like the number one thing, it's exercise. Can you believe that? I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna have Alzheimer because I move every single day a lot. I'm here standing up. This is how I work every day. And yes, this is going to be for you today. And I remember Judy and I have worked together in the past, and she says she what is I cannot read. What stands out most about Janita is how she lives what she teaches. She radiates wellness from her grounded energy to her intentional presence. And this is what it is. We're working from the inside out. And if we want to feel whole, we have to do the work. Actually, we're blessed that we can do the work. So here's what you are going to get. The bonus, the 3-hour life, personal life coaching and materials, then the Breakup to Badass affirmation pack, the glow up guided meditation, the post breakup reset workouts. I love them. They're very touching the ground. They're 10 minutes each. They're beautiful. And eating for energy, I forgot to mention that, because if you want to feel whole, if you want to recover faster, food works in your favor or against. Okay, so this is what you will receive. This is a total value of $9.97. But before I tell you about the special opportunity just for you today, I have a question for you, and I want you to think about it. What would this be worth for you if you finally release the pain and the guilt that's been weighing you down? What would that be worth to you if 1 week from now you wake up and you feel peace in your heart and energy in your body? What would that be worth to you if 1 month from now you could look into the mirror, just like we're looking right here, and feel proud of the woman staring back at you? What would that be worth for you? And if by the end of this year you were no longer replaying the past, right, but instead creating a life that lights you up from the inside out, what would that be worth for you? And think about it, because you're here right now, and I would love for you to be part of this workshop. And for my experience and all the results that I've gotten from thousands of women from coaching, workshops, and conference, I have something special for you. And because you're here and you're an action taker, here it is. This event today is going to be yours for just $97. And it's just $97 for 3 hours of personalized coaching, all the event resources, the materials, the replays. And now in just a second, I'm going to give you the URL. So you're going to want to take immediate action. Sometimes, we keep wondering, like, but I don't have time or whatever. And I do get it, because sometimes, I wonder too, but I told you there is the fast way or the slow way. You want to go to the fast way for just $97. And this is, I'm going to put the link on the chat for you to have it. And when I prepared this workshop, I had in mind everything that I have done in the past and everything that I've worked with women. And it works. It really works. And I have to tell you, I guarantee this. If you say, Janita, this just didn't work for me, it just like, I didn't learn anything, I'll give you your money back. And you know why? Because, you know, this is not going to change my life. This is more than like a $1,000 workshop where you're going to have, the 3 hour life personal life coaching. You're going to have the breakup bad affirmation pack, the guided meditation, the post breakup package, and the eating for energy. And the link is in the chat. I take credit cards and everything. And this is we're almost there. Perfect. We have 5 more minutes just in case, but I'll finish on time, I promise you. And this is Dia. I worked with her because she has hired me 5 times to work with girls, 18-year-old girls. And she says Janita's passion for everyone to live a healthy life using easy micro adjustment to mindset first, then creating system of self accountability is a universal framework. And that's what you want. You want things that are proven. You want stories, and you want a framework that is going to take you from breakup to badass, from broken to badass, from stuck to a spark. And this all can be yours. And, before I finish, this is a final slide. I know sometimes we get questions. So let's start with that. And one of the biggest thing that I get is, Janita, I really want to do this, but I am so busy right now. I'm overwhelmed. I've got work, maybe kids. I'm still trying to pick up the pieces. I don't know if I have the time. And listen, I get it. I really do. And but I'm gonna ask you something. How long have you felt this way? How long have you felt stuck in the same patterns, whatever they are? How long have you been putting yourself at the bottom of the list? We tend to do this every time. We tend to put ourselves like the last person. How long have you been surviving instead of thriving, carrying the weight of the breakup, the divorce, the lost job, the whatever it is? Like, it's kind of feel normal to you. And here's the truth that changed everything for me. There's never going to be a perfect time to choose yourself. There will never be a day when the to-do list is empty. Yeah, I can just like relax. Your heart, like your heart is feeling healed, and the universe sends you a golden invitation to get your power back. And you won't wake up one day magically ready. Oh, yes, like a magic pill. Look, it doesn't work that way. Not with losing weight, not with heartbreak, not with, adversity coming at your door. You become ready by taking the first step. Even when it's messy, even when you're scared, and even when life feels like it's still in pieces. And that's why I created this workshop, because because I know the slow way. I've lived it in the past. I don't do that anymore. The slow way is trying to do it all alone. The slow way is Googling or ChatGPT answers at midnight with tears in your eyes. The slow way is telling yourself you'll get it when things calm down, when I have the money, when my kids are in college. But the thing is that you haven't spent months or years stuck in the same emotional loop, the same pattern. What if instead you took one Saturday, that's it, one Saturday, just 3 hours, and use that time to change the direction of your entire next chapter, to grieve with intention, to let go. And I believe that we're guided. And if you're here with me today, it's not by accident. This is your breadcrumb. This is your moment to trust yourself, to say yes to yourself. And I promise to do this. I will show up for you like I always do. And I will put everything I've got into this workshop. But I can't take that decision for you. I can't make the decision for you. You have to choose you. So if you're feeling that pull, that little voice that says, oh, maybe this could help, I invite you to follow it. That little voice that it's in your head, it's usually your gut telling you something. If it's loud, it's your ego. But if it's soft, it's like, I'm going to give this workshop a chance. Just click on the link in the chat because you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. And you're just one choice away from becoming the woman, the badass that you were always meant to be. So before I wrap, I just want you to acknowledge you because you showed up for yourself today. And that matters. Whether you're still navigating the heartbreak or starting to feel the strength of what's next, showing up is a form of healing. And I see you. So, this is the exact path that I use to go from broken on a Zoom call to glowing with purpose, energy, and clarity. And I want you to do the same. So, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat. You can let me know. But before I go, you know, all you need to do is say yes to yourself. Look, my life isn't going to change if you join. I'm not going out to dinner anymore, but yours absolutely will change. So if you want to reclaim your power, glow up, and never feel defined by someone else's rejection, go to the link and get started now. Thanks for joining me, and thank